Hi, I'm Darren Mullen, SVP of Product Development at Sherlox.AI. I'll be taking you on a high-level tour of our platform and touch on 6 key points: AI native automations, relational data connections, intelligent document management, role-based permissions, dynamic data presentation, and scalability. Let's get started. Sherlox.AI was built from the ground up with AI at its core, not bolted on after the fact. Our AI assistant understands your data natively, so interactions are seamless. Let me demonstrate. I'll ask Sherlox to send me an email summary of all permits that took longer than 30 days to approve. Here's that email showing the summary I asked for. With that kind of flexibility, you can act on data and conditions tailored to your exact needs. And for AI to be so powerful, you need the proper data architecture, which brings me to the next point. Data in Sherlox is connected relationally. Here, you can see cost records linked directly to their parent project. And when you combine that relational structure with formula fields, you can surface powerful insights across your entire portfolio, such as a project-specific breakdown of labor versus material cost, or any other cross-record calculation you need, all without ever leaving the platform. And because your task, milestones, and dependencies are all part of the same relational data model, Sherlox can render your project schedule as a fully dynamic Gantt chart. Unlike a static spreadsheet timeline, this Gantt is live. When your data changes, your schedule updates automatically, so your team always has a single source of truth for where a project stands. And staying in Sherlox extends beyond data visualization. You never need to leave the platform to manage your documents either. Sherlox.AI automatically identifies the type of document you upload. So then you can centrally categorize and search everything across your organization. But it goes further than that. Sherlox can also extract metadata from each document and push it directly into the right records. This means no manual entry, no switching tools, and an accurate source of truth. Of course, with all this data, documents, and automation flowing through one platform, you need to know that the right people are seeing the right things, and only the right things. That brings me to permissions. Sherlox includes enterprise-grade, role-based permission architecture, which means access is controlled by the role a user plays, not just who they are. Each table in Sherlox has its own workflow, with custom statuses and custom roles defined to match your business. And once those roles and statuses are in place, permissions can be assigned at the record level. For example, allowing a prime contractor to edit a completed task is as easy as checking a box. But workflows aren't just about controlling permissions. They're also used to enforce business processes. This is where status transitions come in. Rather than letting users move a task to any status at any time, transitions define the exact paths a status can travel and which roles are allowed to make each move. This keeps your workflows clean and your data trustworthy. Finally, bindings are how you connect users to roles. You can bind a role to a specific person or an entire team. Or, and this is where it gets powerful, you can bind roles dynamically at the record level. Here, I'm showing how the subcontractor role automatically binds to whichever subcontractor team is assigned to each task. No manual permission entry, no risk of human error. Now that the right people have access to the right data, let's talk about what they actually see when they log in. This is a Sherlox.AI interface. Rather than handing everyone a spreadsheet and hoping they find what they need, interfaces let you create purpose-built views for different roles and use cases. Let me show you what I mean using two different accounts. This is an administration account with full visibility across the entire portfolio, every project and data point. This user can easily choose to scope the data to whichever project is of interest. Now here's a fields user viewing the same interface, but with a different experience. This user only sees the task assigned to them as defined by the workflow permissions and bindings, but can still filter the scope of task to a specific project if desired. This is the power of combining a relational data model with role-based permissions and a dynamic presentation layer. Every user gets a tailored experience, and your data stays protected. And getting data in is just as seamless as presenting it. That's where Sherlock surveys come in. Here's a real example showing a survey to collect vendor performance feedback from stakeholders. Rather than chasing down responses over email and manually compiling the results, responses flow directly into Sherlox for analysis. And if you're not satisfied with the analysis presented, dig deeper with AI. So when it's time to evaluate a vendor for your next project, that structured performance data is already there, ready to inform the decision. As you can see, Sherlox brings together AI native automations, relational data connections, intelligent document management, role-based permissions, and dynamic data presentation in one platform. But none of that matters if the platform can't grow with you. That brings me to the final point, scalability. I'm going to let the platform speak for itself. This is a live Sherlox data table with 570,000 records, fully accessible and scrollable in real time. I'll now sort by created date and time across all 570,000 records. Over 500,000 records were sorted quickly, with no loading, spinner, or timeout. Thank you for taking the time to watch this overview about our platform, Sherlox.AI, which isn't just another project management tool or task tracker. It's the operational backbone your team has been waiting for. You are invited to visit Sherlox.ai and reach out for a personalized demonstration. Sherlox.ai. Work simplified. Case closed.